My name is Harmony Colella. I am a National Science Foundation postdoctoral fellow at Miami University of Ohio. I work with Mike Brzezinski and a group of other very talented graduate students on subduction zone processes and slow silica. My first earthquake was when I was 7 years old, and I have been fascinated ever since. I remember very specifically the ground shaking and my mother yelling at me across the house to get into a doorway. I remember even more specifically the deformation, or what I thought at the time was, I thought that the ground had ruptured in the backyard, but it turns out it was liquefaction, and it displaced our backyard by about 3 inches and cracked our pool in half. And I just thought it was amazing that there was a process that could create that sort of destruction, and I had decided then and there that I wanted to spend my life studying earthquakes and figuring out why they happen. The work I do is to understand the processes that are occurring on these faults that generate these very large earthquakes. I use two types of tools to understand earthquakes, and one of them is by using modeling, in which we are modeling the way that a fault moves and the way that different parts of the fault move, because they don't all move exactly the same way, and how those different movements interact with one another. The other method I use is observational method, so we're actually looking at seismicity that is coming from subduction zones. But to do that, we use, in some cases, data from the EarthScope array. Every day I go to work, I feel like I learn something new. I think that there's so much to learn about geology in every field. I mean, I study earthquakes, and it's really essentially a very young field. We've only known about plate tectonics for 50 years, and here we are 50 years later, and we still know very little, and we're discovering new processes, every day, every year. So I feel like it's like everything is interesting.